Party Radio.
Hello there and welcome all to this brand new edition of 5 Round MMA. My name is Alex Ramirez. Alongside me, my co-host, Mr. Tank Top here, Guillermo Cita.
It's hot, man.
Mr. V-Neck here.
Hey,
I like how the Cita brothers are ready for summer.
Hey,
GBs
I'm not gonna
and
lie,
tank tops and everything.
I don't know. It's because I was trolling Alberto Del Rio's feed all week long, and I got inspired by his deep
He has some like super deep Bs, man.
They're nice.
Hey.
So I got a little bit inspired. I figured, I let the hair show.
Well, Del Rio's 30-something, getting 23-year-old wrestlers with them.
Man, Del Rio, I wouldn't give to have his life right now.
Good to have the whole crew back. I like it. So, we've got a lot to talk about. UFC 201's now in the books. We have a new welterweight champion. The era of Robbie Lawler is over.
And get used to saying that. New welterweight champion.
Yeah.
It's going to be swapping like candy.
That is something that's going to be...
It's like the middleweight title.
That's one question I have for you guys there, too. Talked about Joe Rogan staying with the UFC and Conor McGregor crashing my boy Nate Diaz's interviews. What's up with that, guys?
Conan O'Brien, I saw that. Conan O'Brien set him up, bro.
Set him up.
It was an Irish thing.
Was it a setup or not? So, let's make it start round number one, Guillermo. UFC 201 took place this past Saturday. Main event, Robbie Lawler versus
Wait, can
Tyron
we just
Woodley.
get out of the way and tell the audience that I had perfect picks on this card right here?
For the main card.
And I think it's because what's her name passed away, the psychic reader, Miss Cleo, she just recently passed away, and I felt something, and so I think my predictions are going to get better. They're going to get bolder, and they're going to be 100% right.
She was like 50 years old.
Yeah, she's only 50.
Way older.
Yeah, you would think a psychic would know when she was going to die, so
Yeah.
maybe she could have prevented it. But
Anyway, so this is kind of underwhelming card, I think. For
I think we have broken Albert Cita
I
today.
think we have.
I took a Swanton bomb this past week.
So let's kind of skip to the main event because the main focus was I think this event was focused around the main event: Robbie Lawler and Tyron Woodley. Tyron Woodley defeats Robbie Lawler, first round knockout. Surprisingly fast. I think people kind of expected a war, either in a knockout. But so let's kind of focus here on Robbie Lawler. He defeated. His reign is now over. So finish a sentence for me, both of you guys. Took one turn. Robbie Lawler's championship reign was. Give me a word. What was it?
Surprising.
Correct. Why?
It was surprising because if you look at his previous fights, no one ever gave him a chance. So if you look at against Rory McDonald, Carlos Condit, even Big Rig, everybody had Robbie Lawler losing every single fight. So that's why every time he won, it was surprising to me.
Albert, Robbie Lawler's championship reign was
Frustrating.
It
was frustrating to see so much I thought were better fighters whatever getting outlasted by Robbie Lawler.
True. I kind of agree with that.
My boy Rory Mack, I'll go with that guy till whenever. I don't care. I really think he should have been the welterweight champion. I think Johnny Hendricks won that fight to begin with that started Robbie Lawler's championship reign. The Carlos Condit. I mean,
even if Rory Mack would have won that fight, I mean, he lost to what's his name, Wonder Boy's
Thompson.
Yeah, but that does something to your psyche, man. I didn't see the full Canadian cycle that night.
Yeah,
which is very upsetting. But yeah, I would say frustrating. But I mean, Robbie Lawler, I think his championship went the way his fighting style went, where he just was outlasted everybody until he just couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, I think mine would be violent. I mean, he has some of the most violent matches I think I've ever seen. Like, so, at one point, like we had this last week. I wasn't a big Robbie Lawler fan. I never picked him to win any of the fights. I picked him on Saturday. He lost anyways. But after a while, I just generally appreciate it. And especially in this welterweight era where we're post GSP, where we're post, I'm a bitch, lay and pray, ground and pound. This is complete 180 or 360 of, fighting style. And I think fans appreciate it now. Now what? With all the top contenders now in the welterweight are all strikers. Wonder Boy, Rory McDonald, Tyron Woodley is a wrestler, but known for his power. So now this new era ushered into this might be the most dangerous striking division other than heavyweights in the UFC. So I mean, the reign's now over. Do you guys want a rematch or what?
I don't want to see a rematch. I want to see different opponents.
Yeah.
Just because, to tell you the honest truth, Tyron Woodley obviously has immense power, amazing wrestling, but I still feel like there's other fighters out there that can potentially become the new welterweight champion. So I really do feel like if they give him Kevin Gastelum, I have to favor Kevin Gastelum with his wrestling and his striking.
Well, to me, I don't see a rematch. The thing is, he has a knockout power, Tyron Woodley, and he has the game plan, which everybody knows that he's a slow starter. So why not attack from the beginning? I think everybody else, all the other people that fought Robbie Lawler got worn out by Robbie Lawler in those 4 or 5 round wars.
Yeah.
And Tyron Woodley took advantage of the first round. So if the rematch does happen, expect the same thing. I mean, he has a knockout power to end it in 2 minutes in the first round
I think,
again.
Honestly, if Rory McDonald didn't get a rematch and Carlos Condon didn't get a rematch, then Robbie Lawler doesn't deserve a rematch.
I think really the Carlos Condon Damian Maia really sets up, especially Carlos Condon, because remember he got his ACL torn in a freak kick by Tyron Woodley, so we don't know how that match really would have played out had that freak accident or injury not happened.
So I mean, again, I think Wonder Boy's the more consistent, number contender right now. People just kind of just say, okay, it's Wonder Boys.
And I think I'm jumping over Alex's ship where I'm like, I'm tired of rematches. I don't want to see any more rematches. I want to see Holly Holm versus Ronda Rousey. I want to see Holly Holm versus Miesha Tate. I'm tired of rematches. Let's just keep switching it up until we get to a point where like, screw it, we have to do rematches.
Remember the old regime of Bellator had that tournament, right? Okay, if you lose a tournament, you got to go back to the start of the bottom.
Build yourself back up.
Yeah, so it wasn't too bad.
I will say this though, where I think Robbie Lawler dropped the ball out of his whole reign was after that Rory McDonald fight. He could have really played into that Joker role because he had the split lip. I really think they could have like really done something with that. Like that was a nasty
I got the scar.
injury. Yeah, like I really think they could have sold that.
The last point is for once maybe I thought Robbie Lawler overlooked Tyron Woodley. I mean he was fielding questions about GSP, fielding questions about Conor McGregor. I think maybe he got into
that Luke Rockhold
believing his own hype.
His own hype. I'm Robbie Lawler. I'm all about violence and I'll wear you out. So a new era has begun. So the next round we're talking about the new era in the welterweight division. See what contenders are next, and if this is gonna be, Albert said, a revolving door of champions. So stick around. Time for round number 2. So a new champion usually ushers in a new era of. See how this goes with Tyron Woodley. I think it's gonna be a violent era. So this is a violent dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's a violent dude.
You saw his knockout power. Yeah, you saw Josh Koscheck. Now you see Robbie Lawler.
So it's gonna be, I think, an era of violence in the welterweight division, but a different type of violence, right? This guy is a little more diverse, I think, than Robbie Lawler. He can mix up his wrestling if he has to. The dude's super built, charismatic too. He does the
I think it's
Fox Sports.
I think it's a good thing that Tyron Woodley. I mean, no disrespect to Robbie Lawler, but I think Tyron Woodley's more of a.
He's out there more.
Yeah, he's out there more. He's more of a selling athlete. I mean, I can see him on billboards and stuff like that. Where Robbie Lawler was a little bit more quiet, more humble,
a little more cryptic.
I don't know if you guys saw Embedded though, but Tyron Woodley can literally have his own like reality TV show.
Yeah.
His family's like funny and crazy. Like he has 2 kids that are always like doing ridiculous stuff and like playing to the camera, getting like weird haircuts.
Yeah.
So if I don't know if you saw Embedded, he was quite a character and like he even went on set for Fast and Furious, so the latest one. I don't know where they're at, 20, 25, 55. He went on set and like he was kicking it with the director or something. But I really do see him as a better how do you say it, like face for this title because I really think if they did a reality show with Tyron Woodley, I think I would watch it. It was very entertaining.
Even the countdown is kind of cool. He broke away from American Top Team, got his own gym in St. Louis. I think what is he? He has like a motivational coach he pays to talk to him. A motivational speaker, just one-on-one. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of outside the box thinking. So it should be kind of cool. So let's go now delve into the contender list now. So I think number one official for the UFC.
The other thing too is remember he was a Strikeforce champ too, right?
No, I'm not sure champ, but he was there. Yeah,
top contender.
He lost the name Malcor, right?
I
think so. Yeah,
Nate the Great.
Yeah.
So I mean that's another good story. When they bought Strikeforce, we talked about all these guys. Can they compete in the UFC?
So another Strikeforce guy making it to the top. It's crazy.
Wow.
Scott Coker could
he knows how to. Yeah, he knows.
It's just like when WCW took over WWE. All those WCW guys became champions.
Yep. So obviously Stephen Thompson, Wonderboy Thompson's probably I think the number one contender, but also your boy Rory Mack.
He's
a free agent, right?
I think Rory Mack's going to go to Bellator.
Yeah, okay, that's
because of the money.
Even with Robbie Lawler losing, he's going to Bellator.
I think so, but just because of the money. Because he's already said it. Look, I tried getting that title so many times, and I think he just wants to get paid now. And I don't know if you know this, but the fashion industry is just getting more expensive. And if you want to keep those nice jeans and shirts, you need to make the paper, and the paper's over there in Bellator.
The thing is, the reason he's going to get the paper is maybe not only can he not win the title, he's not the face of the UFC at that weight class.
I mean, before we leave the whole Bellator, remember who the welterweight champion is in Bellator? Who Benson Henderson fought? Yeah. I think that'll be a freaking awesome matchup. To be honest, I'll be legit.
No one ever
excited to see that
questioned
fight.
Rory Mack's fighting ability. My thing is that even if he stayed in the UFC, he's not going to get the money he's choosing because he's not a star in the UFC.
No, yeah. Okay.
In terms of like publicity and stuff like that, I just don't see that. I don't see it from Robbie Lawler. I see it from Tyron Woodley.
Yeah.
So that's
because they didn't sell Roy Mack the right way. I saw nothing but dollar signs when I saw Roy Mack.
Again, what you mentioned in the last round, that you see Damian Maya versus Carlos Condit as a number one contender match. Even so, the winner.
The thing is, the thing is, that there's a history there between Tyron Woodley and Carlos Condit, or even Damian Maya and Tyron Woodley. I just from the commentating, it's always Stephen Wonderboy there with Tyron Woodley. They get along too much for me to believe this fake feud or something that building up for the fight. I mean, I would love to see it, but I think that there's unfinished business between the Carlos Condit versus Tyron Woodley. That's if Carlos Condit gets past Damian Maya. If he doesn't,
let's not overlook Kevin Gastelum, guys. I mean, he just beat one of the former champions. Can we not forget about Kevin Gastelum?
No, of course not.
I really think he could just steal it. Technically he's not booked, right?
Yeah.
And he just beat the former champion.
Currently ranked number 6 right now. So.
I think Kevin Gastelum has other options, or the UFC has better options for Kevin Gastelum to prove himself. He deserves a title shot. Now you have Robbie Lawler available.
Jake Gallenberger's in the mix now. Let's keep it real.
Okay, we all agree that Matt Brown's not in the mix anymore.
No, Matt Brown's
I think we can all agree
on that right there.
But Kevin Gastelum, think about the people that are going to be left out from the title picture.
Yeah.
If you don't have the winner, Carlos Condit versus Damian Maya, face Tyron Woodley, you have one of those guys face Kevin Gastelum.
Yeah.
If Stephen Wonderboy Thomas doesn't get Tyron Woodley, now you have that matchup as well.
Yeah.
Gastelum versus Stephen Wonderboy Thomas.
And Conor McGregor's still in the mix too.
Conor McGregor.
Well, actually, our good friend Jason Hendricks, he brought up a good point. Nick Diaz,
yeah.
I think Nick Diaz versus Tyron Woodley surpasses every matchup we said to this point because it's money in the making.
I'll take that.
Nick Diaz versus anybody is going to be money. So I mean.
Why not? I mean, right now Nate Diaz is in talks everywhere. Conan O'Brien, this and that. I think Nick Diaz just appearing for the title. I mean, even though everybody's gonna be hooting and hollering and upset.
Nick's suspension's coming up, so that's a good matchup. If Nate stays in welterweight, that's a good matchup too, I guess.
With both Diaz brothers.
Yeah.
Right?
Just do a triple threat.
Or just do 2v1.
All right, good round, guys. That's it for round number 2. We're gonna do round number 3. Talk about Joe Rogan starting with the UFC.
Hey, New Day has the tag team titles in.
That's where they could just alternate.
Might as well. Time for round number 3. So a little bit of a kind of big news. I don't know, a little newsworthy.
Big news.
It was reported everywhere that Joe Rogan has signed a 1-year deal with the UFC to remain as the main commentator, but with the reduced travel schedule, so he'll only do the pay-per-views, domestic pay-per-views, and I assume the Fox specials as long as they're domestic. So Joe Rogan's been a staple in the UFC since I think 1997. He started as a backstage announcer, then moved his way to the front booth. Was there before the Zufas. Zuffa and Dana White came in. Love him or hate him, this guy is synonymous with the UFC, right?
Yeah, but I think it's time to move on. I mean, like, I think new people have emerged that do just as good as
great people.
Yeah, that do a good job doing the color commentary and the details of the moves and stuff like that. So and from I follow Joe Rogan on social media. I see he's a lot into the comedian side of it.
Oh, he's a stand-up. I think
that's how he made his.
Yeah, he's a
stand-up comic first.
And I'm not to be hating, but I mean, like, I don't see the passion though. I don't know if it's just me or if you guys see it, but I mean, like, the excitement where he would be like, "Wow!" Or
he said in an interview in his podcast, he's getting burned out.
It seems like it. It really does. So I think it's time to change a little bit. Bring someone else to the fold.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's plenty of guys that you throw in Frank Mir. I'm listening.
Yeah.
So
we got Frank Mir, Brian Stan, Kenny Florian.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, my frustrating thing was I understand how Joe Rogan fit the puzzle in the beginning. Because obviously there weren't established stars at the time. Maybe a comedian will kind of, help keep it entertaining.
Which he did. I mean,
yeah.
And he knew his stuff.
Yeah, but I think we're in a point where, like, there is no reason to have a commentator like Joe Rogan. Sure, he practices jiu-jitsu on the side with 10 Planet Jiu-Jitsu and
Taekwondo.
And Taekwondo and whatever. But when you get to this level, I think you need to start putting the analyst in there and the one, like the Kenny Florence and the Frank Mears.
Like, how many octagon minutes?
Yeah,
Joe Rogan has?
and to be honest, like for someone that has like absolutely no MMA background like at all, right? When I hear every single time, talking about myself, every single time I hear Frank Mir or Kenny Florian like talk, I learned so much. Like when I remember when I first heard Frank Mir commentate, and I was not a Frank Mir fan.
Yeah,
I was like, what? Like the guy literally is giving you a seminar as you're watching the show, which I think that's what they need. And I think John Anik and Mike Goldberg, they're okay for now.
No, well, the thing is, if you look at every other sport, you always have that color commentator. Now, actually, the play-by-play guy, it's always someone that maybe didn't play the sport but has the voice, has the knowledge.
Like in boxing, what's that guy's name? That jabroni on
Max Kellerman.
Max Kellerman. There you go.
But then
you know what I was talking about when I said jabroni, though.
Boxing jabroni. Max Kellerman.
Yeah.
But then you have like
Stephen A. Smith. That jabroni, he does basketball.
He doesn't do the.
No, yeah.
But then you have the actual ex-basketball player, NFL player, the ex,
coach or something.
So an expert in the sport that's giving the the color commentary.
Former professional player, former professional coach. Even like I think they're getting more GMs now involved. Post game I like, but not during the game. So.
Yeah, so I think maybe bringing someone in else like a professional ex-UFC fighter like a Kenny Florian, Frank Mir, I think we'll get a little bit more insightful. And no disrespect to Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
New era, like new era. If you want to be more legitimate,
it made sense at first, which I 100% would agree. That was a good business decision, just because there's nobody out there.
Yeah.
But now we have so much established stars. There's so many stars that are retired and more educated, and I feel more well spoken when it comes to the game of MMA. Like I told you, like Frank Mir and Kenny Florian are probably the guys in commentary right now. I don't know if you know this, but Kenny Florian's actually doing commentary for the battle robots. And man, is it good? Is it good? I mean, that guy will educate you in robots as well.
Yeah, well, I think play-by-play, as long as you're not writing articles, is what you
I know. And then, so they don't get burned out so often. I mean, if you look at the NFL, NBA, certain games are done by certain crews.
Yeah.
I think that's the UFC approach. So UFC Fight Night, this is the crew you're going to get.
Yeah.
UFC pay-per-views, this is the crew you're going to get. Yeah. I think in the long run, you don't burn people out as well, because look at what's happening to Joe Rogan.
And I wouldn't be mad either if they went to the 3 commentary thing. I know it's traditional to do maybe 2. Most basketball is 2.
3 or 4.
Yeah, in boxing's like 3 or 4. I know, but for most like traditional sports, it's usually you get 2 people.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't even mind if they did the 3 if they really wanted to keep Joe Rogan for this last year. Yeah. I wouldn't mind if they were doing like Joe Rogan, Frank Mir, and Goldberg.
If you look at the NBA, the most famous combo right now, it's Mark Jackson, Jeff Van Gundy, and then Mike Breen.
Yeah, so then that's 3.
Well, we do know one more year of Joe Rogan. He said it's going to take about year to year now. So I think
I can't wait until the following year.
Reduced schedule. So that's it for round number 3. We're going to take a small break and then come back and enter the championship rounds. Let's see if there's a big conspiracy between Conor McGregor and the UFC to attack Nate Diaz like that on Conan O'Brien. So do not go anywhere. Welcome back. Time to enter the championship round. So, did you guys see Nate Diaz on Conan?
So, via the satellite right now, we're gonna get
Jason Hendricks. You're Irish, right?
we do have an Irish superstar, not Conor McGregor, but Jason Hendricks.
Gonna attack these 2 guys
of the Dos Leprechauns podcast. So basically, Nate Diaz is on Conan O'Brien. That's kind of weird. Like I think they're putting Nate Diaz out there, on the late night special. But then I guess
cahoots.
Yeah, cahoots out of nowhere. Unbeknownst to Nate, that they had a pre-recorded interview with Conor McGregor that they inserted back and played right in front of him. Couldn't just toward Nate a new one.
Set him up.
Well, first of all, the UFC's on it. Conor McGregor is best friends with Conan O'Brien.
Conan O'Brien's Irish.
He's Irish.
So this is all.
They sabotaged him.
Yeah. Even Nate Diaz after is like, what the hell? Like he put that tweet or
they played me again. So
punks, dude.
I didn't see the whole thing, but I guess even Conan O'Brien was just asking questions about all McGregor. So what are your thoughts on Conor? What are your thoughts on McGregor? What are your thoughts on this and that? So he's not even really asking Nate Diaz about Nate.
Bro.
Set up. So
and you wonder why the Diaz bros don't trust no one. Come on, bro. That's why they couldn't trust each other.
Looking back at with the whole, how they their thoughts on marijuana and then obviously their steroids accusations all come fruition, and then this now. maybe the Diaz brothers are the most sane people in the world of MMA, and everybody else is just crazy. Because everything they say like comes true. It's all like
everybody on steroids.
Nick said that everyone's on it.
They use marijuana just for like
for recovery purposes.
So it's kind of weird. So maybe they are the Diaz brothers, the only sane people in MMA.
But I'm not gonna lie to you. I driven to Oregon twice in the last couple of months, whatever, and every single time I pass through Stockton, I hate it. There's nasty traffic. The weather's drier. But to tell you the truth, I really started thinking about it. I was like, you know what? Maybe that's what makes the Diaz brothers so tough. If you're growing up in this nasty atmosphere, how do you not get irritated?
I've actually been downtown Stockton. It's not the prettiest place in the world. Let's just say that. I mean, there is some nice spots in Stockton, a little bit north of Stockton. But I mean, like if you go downtown, it's scary atmosphere. You want to get out immediately.
But what's funny is don't they have like a chocolate factory there? Like they have
they do. They have the In-N-Out factory there too, a distribution center. I mean, they have important things.
You would think if you have such good resources, it wouldn't be such a hostile territory, but it really is.
It breeds,
and it's also isn't like the homeland to like everything minor league. All I saw was like a bunch of minor league team. Like there's a minor league baseball, minor league hockey, minor league whatever.
So basically, this is a ploy for the UFC to get more attention to Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
He made fun of Nate Diaz in his black T-shirt they always wears.
I think that was the highlight though when he's like, I bet you he's over there wearing his black T-shirt and like Nate's all
Here's my thing is like, are they trying to get into Nate Diaz's mind? So they really want Conor McGregor to win this upcoming rematch. Of
course,
because so far all the trash talk hasn't gotten to Nate at all. During the press conference, he was on his phone the whole time. I mean, Conor was trying to sell the fight, and Nate just wasn't biting at all. He even said afterwards, "I'm not going to bite. I know this guy. This is his thing. It's not going to affect me."
Honestly, if Nate Diaz wins the second fight, I think you gotta go with Nate Diaz. Title shot, put him on the cover of everything, give him the man what he deserves. I mean, whatever he's getting right now, the treatment that he's getting is not deserved. I mean, like this guy goes into battle. He's been in the UFC how long? Disrespected.
Just because he speaks his mind. That's I think the reason why the UFC doesn't like him is like he literally calls like it is. Like this contract is worth nothing. Like he came out and said like his tough contract, how they structure it. It's it's 6 figure, but it's spread out through like 10 years. Where you get so little bit at a time during each fight, where you think you get this payday, like, well, no, this fight,
and you have to make it to all those fights to get the full figure. So
I mean, this guy's just speaking the truth, man, and it is a shame that they're kind of jab at him.
They're just trying to get to it.
Yeah, but I'll give this to the Diaz brothers. The more they're
he loves
I wouldn't say love, but I mean I was a straight up hater. Like I mean I was drinking that haterade all day long on the Diaz bros. But the more I get to know them, the more I see their situation. They're alright. They're cool.
Can you imagine both the Diaz brothers being champions at one point? Wouldn't that
chaos?
Wouldn't that get the UFC mad?
Yeah.
And the funny part is, I bet you they would like put their belts like somewhere like wherever they don't care. Like, oh yeah, where's your UFC belt? I don't know. Like it's over there. I don't know. It's in the kitchen.
I think it also too. It's the UFC is trying to get back McGregor back in the spotlight too, because obviously this whole being taken off UFC 200 was a big hit to him. No matter what, he tried to argue.
And I hope Dana White learned his lesson.
Exactly. So he had a legit argument about not doing too many promos, but you need to get back in there and recapture some of that.
Well, to be fair, I mean like nobody does as much publicity as Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at UFC 201. I never saw time.
To be unfair, they get paid for it though.
Yeah. So that's it. We'll see. I mean, it's all going to come ahead. UFC 202 there.
Yeah, it's coming up. It's already August basically.
I just can't wait for this fight to be over. I'm already sick of it right now. We'll see how it goes. So that's it for round number 4. We got one more round coming up. I want you guys to talk about like what champions have the best chances to retain their title throughout the rest of the year, because we've seen so many title changes already. So that should be a fun round. Don't go anywhere. Time for the 5th and final round. So 2016 has been a pretty crazy year for UFC title holders. If you're champion, there's not a guarantee. I mean, it's always been that way in the past, but
it's harder to retain than it is to get to it.
Yeah, this year now more than ever. We're seeing so many title changes. I don't know because there's so many more events or what, but I mean, So all the current champs right now, we have it's women's strawweight Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
Yeah.
I don't think she's going anywhere anytime soon. She defended her title once already. Women's bantamweight, it's crazy. Miesha Tate defeated Holly Holm, who then lost to Amanda Nunes. So and we have the flyweight. Mighty Mouse is still reigning, still hurt.
And got hurt.
Yeah. So but we have bantamweight. This is all within the last 12 months. Dominic Cruz defeated Tito Dillashaw. Featherweight, I guess in December, McGregor defeated Aldo. So you kind of within the last 12 years. Lightweight, Adi Alvarez defeated Rafael Dos Anjos. You got a welterweight, Woodley defeated Lawler. You got middleweight, Bisping defeated Luke Rockhold.
Oh, Michael Bisping.
Lightweight,
Say it. I dare you.
Cormier still champion. Just because you can't fight anybody because John Jones is, And then heavyweight, Verdum lost to Stipe Miocic.
What?
So.
It's Cain Velasquez heavyweight champion. He never lost it to begin with.
So the other current list of champions, which one will hold the title throughout, let's tell the 16th?
Cain Velasquez,
No,
man.
which one will hold it?
Yeah.
Who currently has it?
Come on, bro.
He never lost
I'm going to have to say it's going to be DC.
DC? For the rest of the year?
Yeah, like, other ones you name. Obviously, like, I don't think nothing's going to happen in the flyweight division.
There's a couple, yeah.
But I think Mighty Mouse is going to have that strap until he retires.
So he's done with it.
And I'm pretty sure that there goes a division, too. But, yeah, I really do think out of all those rotating champions, whatever, I think DC is probably going to have the one to hold it for the whole year, because I really do see all those guys switching belts wherever. Even if we take the featherweight into consideration, technically Jose Aldo's the champion, and I do feel Conor McGregor is going to come back and beat him.
Conor's a champion. Jose Aldo's a
interim, yeah, but come on, let's keep it real.
Yeah.
So
your question is who's going to retain the rest of the year?
And I think DC. My answer is DC.
For the remainder of the year, well, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Because honestly,
we're excluding Mighty Mouse. Keep that in mind too.
The thing is, some of these people aren't going to fight anymore in 2016. If you really think about it.
Well, we have Stipe has a match coming up.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He has the potential of losing the belt.
Well, they might fight at the end of the year. I mean,
that's close. I would say Tyler Woodley.
You're right there?
I am. Yeah, that's what I meant.
See, Alvarez might fight again. We're still in the middle of the way, so we could, as much as they're pumping out events. Yeah. At least they don't get hurt. These guys are going to defend it once again, I think.
I don't know. It's difficult to say because of so much injuries. Yeah. I mean, sometimes you'll see a fighter just fight once a year, maybe 2 times a year. I mean, some of these guys.
Now we're talking about Cain Velasquez. Once again. Go on with the Cain Velasquez.
So who I think is going to retain is Mighty Mouse, Joanna Jędrzejczyk. The Dominator, Jose Aldo and Conor McGregor will not happen in 2016. It will happen early 2017. Yeah. Who else? Amanda Nunes, I don't think she retains. I think she fights one more time, and if it's Ronda Rousey, I think Ronda Rousey retakes that.
Eddie Alvarez?
Will he defend his he will defend, and he will retain. Unless it's Khabib.
Oh, okay.
That's my thinking.
Tyron Woodley, will he defend his first title?
I think Tyron Woodley remains champion. I think DC...
Even if it's Kevin Gastelum?
Even if it's Kevin Gastelum.
Wow.
Okay, bigger question. Michael Bisping.
He will not retain.
Lose to Hendo?
Michael Bisping will
Hendo's going to ride out into the sunset. What a beautiful book that's going to be.
Michael Bisping retains. I think in the light heavyweight DC, if he ever gets a matchup, I think he'll retain.
Stipe will not.
And then I think
the new All-Star.
No, I think
the Reem is back.
I think there's only 2 title changes remaining.
So you kind of like this Curtin makes a champion. I mean, other than Amanda Nunes and what I think you said, Michael Bisping defended, right? Too, right?
Yeah, so he retains.
So the only person you have losing is Amanda Nunes, right?
Amanda Nunes, and who else did I say that might lose it?
I forgot who you said. Robbie,
I think they all lose it. They all lose it except for DC.
Go back to light heavyweight. Do you think now does Alexander Gustafsson get like a new breath of life without the John Jones out of the division now?
No.
Where's this guy been? He did like a post on Instagram recently. I was like, I forgot about Alexander Gustafsson. Like completely. I got off the face of the earth.
I think the whole light heavyweight division is to be like it just disappeared.
Yeah,
it's a 3-horse race.
So old,
I really think like after the Anthony Rumble Johnson loss, it's like. That's it. Like I honestly think it's only Rumble Johnson has one more shot at getting it, and Alvin St. Pierre, and that's it.
Yeah.
And other than those two, you need to know. I don't even think Glover's there.
Well, if Glover beats what's his name, Anthony Rumble Johnson, I think he gets a title shot.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It's a 3-horse race to get to DC.
I see Rumble beating.
There's not enough light heavyweights around. So I think that's the real problem in the UFC. I think they need to do a tough light heavyweight. To be honest with you guys,
and I think
we talked about the heavyweight division being short. I think now it's the light heavyweight that they need to work on.
Well, let's say the more title change, the better. It makes more drama, more excitement.
I don't know. Maybe Ryan Bader can get back into the picture.
Maybe he's already in the picture.
He never left. So that's it for today's show. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at FiveRoundMMA to keep up with the latest until next week's show.
You know, that bothers me. He's on the UFC.com. John Jones is still interim champion.
Well,
No, man. Strip that from him already.
Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to us on iTunes, YouTube.
Delete.
John Jones.
Broken MMA right here. TNA reference. And please visit FiveRoundMMA.com. A big thank you to all of our sponsors. First with the Rocking Green eco-friendly cleaner products, the 5 Rounds clothing line, and of course the RMA Foundation, Redemption Martial Arts. And also check out this podcast at our good friend's website at FightBookMMA.com. That's FightBookMMA.com under the podcast page. What do you got?
I wish I was homies with the Broken Hardy, because after watching those segments, I could have directed the F out of that, and trust me, I would have made Senor Benjamin a lot better. I would have brought the intensity of the Hispanic culture more out there. So if you're listening to me, Broken Hardy, I can be your broken director. I can make it great again.
The other thing I wanted to say is listen to our friends Dos Leprechauns this week. They're back. And then if you guys are in SoCal, in the IE, go to Claremont Craft Ales. Pretty cool spot.
Or just go to any brewery.
Cream of the crop.
I get drunk like every weekend.
You are now listening to FRMMA Radio.